The trouble with writing a sermon early is that when I hear the lessons today, I think of all the things I should have put into it. So I want you all to think about the lessons, and when you go home, you can write your own sermon. But here's the one I have today. All today's readings contain some very strong observations and directives. They're not soothingly about love and peace, as we all prefer to hear. Instead, it's as if Jesus looks them right in the eye and says, "You're calling yourself my followers? Okay, get busy. You will suffer for it. You'll be victim of crisis and antagonism. It'll not be simple and pleasant. Get ready to be reviled, excluded, derided, and dismissed." Most of us, however, live our lives within a safe and comfortable space. We work and socialize with people a lot like us. We know them, we appreciate what they work at, where they travel, who their kids are. We almost never find ourselves in conflict, perhaps with a distant set of political opinions raining down on us, but we can easily discount and dismiss them. We close the newspaper. We turn off the TV. We get in our car and drive away. But even when our health or financial status is threatened, we seldom find ourselves in an environment of hatred, dismissal, denial, danger. The Christians being advised in today's readings were living in a very different world. It is often hard to feel related to them, to think our own beliefs and practices resemble theirs. Being a Christian now is not what Matthew's audience experienced. So should we read this merely as history, or should we look for ways in which it offers us some contemporary advice? As the preacher, I'm supposed to choose the latter possibility and offer you a pathway toward evangelizing, proselytizing, and danger. But is that my job? Some preachers today may take that path in their sermons, but I'm not convinced that that is the way to read today's lessons. That may be true because I spent so many years teaching literary texts. But when we read, there are many ways to approach and respond. We can look for ideas that help shape our actions. We can distance ourselves and consider the accounts as history or a story. We can look for something to learn that we missed 3 years ago when we heard these readings before. And we may find that hearing them for the third or fourth time changes them and us. I realize that for me, the stories in the gospel have always seemed to be history. These early followers of Jesus had many obstacles to overcome that we are unlikely to encounter, even if we go out and stand on the corner and try to tell passers-by about our beliefs, the importance of faith, or the beauties of St. Luke's and the Episcopal Church. We are within a culture where we are in almost every way safe. So how can we review today's lessons as more than history? Even if it's nothing more than giving thanks for being able to be here now without fear of verbal or physical attack. What are the ways we have to embrace and share the good news? I believe that our assignment is not the same as it was for those first century Christians. Some denominations still preach publicly. Some have isolated themselves behind rules and limits so that the good news is only for the chosen. Some share with those who choose to hear and to put Christ's admonitions to work within the framework of our current realities. For the most part, the Episcopal Church is among those in this latter group. Even in countries where a state church, as England was for so long, being a Christian now here is a choice of fairly routine consequence in our culture. But I urge you to think again of the promises you made, or which were made for you at your baptism. You were then fundamentally committed to being a different person. You promised to love the Creator of the universe and to share your beliefs about that with other people. You did not promise to stand on the street corner and talk. You did not promise to ring doorbells and hand out booklet on being an Episcopalian. Read the baptism service and remind yourself just what you did promise. Love God and treat others, all others, with the love and concern you feel for your good friends. Follow the teachings of Christ. We're reminded today that when we were baptized, we promised to be present in our new life and have a real sense of our responsibility to share Jesus' teachings. That's what Matthew's reminding us. And today, at the beginning of a new month and a new season, let's take our baptismal vows seriously. What are we doing here in our own time and place, in our own language, from the teachings of our own church? Have we anything to share? Do we ever share it? Do we give thanks for our own presence in this community of believers? And what difference does it make? Would anybody think you were a Christian just by meeting you, hearing you, knowing what you're doing every day? Would all your friends expect you to be here today? We know what the good news is. Let's not keep it to ourselves. Amen.